would somebody want to come to church and make one connection or shake 30 hands?
Yeah.
And when you left, you're like, wow, that Mirror and Dawson, man, I really like those guys. I really felt like they were on the same life stage and they're enjoying it. So maybe I would enjoy it, and so that's kind of where my mind went. And they're not going to remember the hands they shook, but they'll remember that one connection they made. Yeah.
Welcome back to the Castleview Baptist Church podcast. We had a great weekend on Sunday, and we had our Christmas at Castleview services. Christian, what'd you think?
Loved it.
Loved it.
One of my favorite weekends of the year. I like Christmas Eve a little better, but this is a big one.
Really? Yeah.
I do. This one and Easter are probably our biggest.
You like
event,
Christmas Eve even better?
Don't bring it up.
Yeah.
He's going to bring it up.
I feel like
He's going to bring it up.
2 years ago, Jeremy, just so you know this, I told the church staff, hey, we've got Christmas Eve service we're going to do. And there was one dissenting voice. And it wasn't dissenting. He didn't say like, I won't do it. But I think you kind of said, I'll do it, Pastor, if that's what you want to do. But what was your problem?
I don't remember. I guess it was another big
just
event.
Another thing. Yeah,
another
right.
big program.
And then it ended up being your favorite last year.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I love it too.
It's not as hard as I thought it'd be.
Yeah, it was great. It's just an intimate service.
Right.
But we had a great weekend. It was really good. I've got Christian, of course, with us right now. Jeremy, you're with us. You're out on the front lines, Jeremy. You're with the greeters and all of our hosts, our neighborhood teams now. How did all that go over the weekend?
I thought everything went well. We started a new kind of greeting team, and I felt like that was a new benefit that we offer if you're looking for a church that you feel that is genuinely friendly.
Yeah.
I feel like that's our church. Like we're not just doing a job. I feel like our people genuinely want to get to know you, and so we've got some people now that's taking on some more roles. And
so break that down. What does that look like then? We were friendly before, but you've got a more effective way of being able to put that to practice.
I think you can be overly friendly. You can have an overly friendly church where it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And
how was it uncomfortable? Just tell us.
Yeah. So if I'm being very transparent, we were taking guests, and when they walk in, guests don't want to feel like rock stars. They want to feel like they're family.
Yeah.
And so when they would walk in, it was like the red carpet was rolled out. They would shake 30 hands before they got to their seat, or
before they walked through the door.
Yeah.
It was kind of evolving into, it looked almost like a football team running through the cheerleaders, where everyone's high-fiving them on the way in.
Did everything but held up posters.
Right. We didn't have them run through the paper banner.
Sure.
But I mean, there were. I think that's the way it kind of devolves when people don't know sometimes where to go, or where maybe they've been told where to go, but aren't. And so how did you fix that?
Well, in all fairness, our people were doing exactly what I told them to do. Mm-hmm. And it's just that everyone was doing it. And so it was just a little too much. And so I tried to see it through the eyes of a guest. Like, what are they feeling? What are they seeing? What's that experience like? And I started to realize that we've went overboard with it. And so we pushed everybody out of the lobby, and we put them in the worship center.
You're telling me we're too friendly.
We were too friendly.
That's our biggest problem.
Yes.
I'm too strong.
What's your weakness? I'm too friendly.
With too much money. I mean,
that's right. Okay, so what did you do with them then?
Yeah. So one thing I really considered was that would somebody want to come to church and make one connection or shake 30 hands?
Yeah.
And when you left, you're like, wow, that Mirror and Dawson, man, I really like those guys. I really felt like they were on the same life stage and they're enjoying it. So maybe I would enjoy it, and so that's kind of where my mind went. And they're not going to remember the hands they shook, but they'll remember that one connection they made.
Yeah. And think about somebody that comes into church. Sometimes you come into church and you want to fly under the radar a little bit. What I mean? Let me come into church and see if I even like this place. I have no idea what I think about this place.
Right.
And think about an introvert.
Yeah.
Walking in for the first time,
Yeah.
And we've got 30 people right there. And that's an over exaggeration. And it was great. I'm not making, I guess I'm making fun of something that it really has been good, but I think what you're doing is better.
Yeah.
So how are they doing that now?
Yeah. So now we took all of our hosts and that was the people that was assigned to the lobby, and we would try to hand them off. But we had so many people in the lobby with coffee and the children's check-in, and it's not a huge space, but when you put that many people in it, it feels very small. And so there was not any quality conversations being had. People don't want to have a conversation about personal stuff surrounded by other people. And so I put all of those hosts into the worship center, and Margie Strange actually come up with the title. She called it a neighborhood greeter. And so basically our hosts now set in certain sections, and that's their neighborhood. And their goal is to get to know everybody on their street, And if there's new people, hey, they're not sitting down until the service starts. They're walking around. And I kept popping in through all three services and watching Mike and Colleen. They're really working those aisles. And I sent Mira and Dawson in, and they were connecting with people. So I feel like people will enjoy it because they're sitting down, they're comfortable. It's more of an intimate conversation at that point.
It's a great way to put it too. When you're in that lobby and there's all those people around you, you don't want to have an intimate conversation, and you don't feel like you have the time to, because people are coming in and all this stuff's going on and everything else. You don't even feel like you have time to be able to do that. And then you feel like I got to get somewhere, right? You're not going to settle into a conversation in that lobby.
Absolutely.
I feel like it's easier to catch everybody too. In that way, instead of you're talking to one person in the hallway.
That's a great point.
Six people walk by you that you never connected with, and you never will because you're not going to.
That's a great point. Right. That's absolutely true.
So some of the stats as we talk about guests and church growth and all of these kind of things, some of the stats, Tom Rainer came out about a year ago and said that a church of 100 will lose one way or another 30 to 35 people a year to attrition. That is people that are upset and leave. That's people that just fall out of church. That's people that move out of town. That's a shocking stat, that you have to grow by 30 to 35% every year just to stay flat.
Yeah.
Is that surprising to you guys? Do you feel that here?
Does it go up did he say anything about it going up as the numbers got higher?
Per every 100.
So it's just, okay.
That's what he said. For
every
100. So
I wondered if it affected bigger churches more or anything like that.
Right. Yeah. He said, I didn't hear any drilling down on it. He just said for every 100 people that a church has. So we've got to replace closing in on about 150 people a year, just if that were true. And by the way, I don't think it is true of our church right now, although I will say Castle Rock always has a lot of people coming in and moving. We have had some of it here as of late, but I don't. Yeah, it's interesting that we've got to hold on to that many people or get that many people just to stay flat.
I have considered that Castle Rock is growing so quickly. We do get dozens of people every month that says, hey, I just moved here from Texas, from California, from wherever. And we looked up and, this is the Baptist church we found online, or we were recommended by another pastor in our other area that knows Pastor Throndson. And so I do wonder about when we reach that peak in Castle Rock that the mayor spoke about recently of 120 or 130, and they stop issuing building permits and things. What does our growth look like then, and how much more effort are we going to need from our people to invite?
Yeah. And I'm glad you brought that up because that's really what I want to get today. One of the things I was impressed over the weekend was how many people came to the church because they were invited personally by somebody.
Sure.
And we've harped on that. That's the best guest, right? I mean, the great guests they don't just drop into your service, they're brought to your service, right? What are the advantages of a guest that comes with somebody?
Well, you know somebody. I mean, that's the biggest thing when you're going to a church. My alarm is going off. How do I make a connection for this person? When you're invited by someone, the hard part's done. They already have the connection. Now they can just enjoy the service.
You've got somebody to sit with. You've got somebody to show you where
ask
the
questions.
kids ministry is. You've got you're comfortable, right? I mean, it's almost like you have that little built-in security blanket that somebody saved you seats. And so I was really impressed this week of a lot of the guests that we had over the three services. said, "Oh, this family brought me. This family, invited me." I wanted to talk today about how do we follow up with that then, right? Because stats do tell us that the earlier you get back up with the guests, the better off, the more likely they are to come back, and so there is a window of time that we want to get back up with these guests again. And again, if they've been invited by a neighbor, that would be the best. The church is going to reach out, we'll reach out, but we want the neighbor, the friend, the coworker that invited them to reach back out again. How would you guys do that? Are there any keys or bullet points, or I think timing is one of them. Make it as quick as possible. How would you guys suggest our church reach out to people to follow up? We don't want to see them here once a year.
Right.
We want to see them here again Sunday.
Right.
And so any recommendations or any thoughts from you guys on how we might do that?
Well, I think you already have a talking point. To follow up with. If they're coming to church, it was for a reason, whatever that is. Whether they are looking for something, whether they just want to enjoy they're obviously not against what you believe necessarily, or they're not against religion itself. So I think that's a great inroad to, okay, what's the next steps in this in this person's life?
Yeah.
And hey, you came to church with me.
Yeah.
Here's what you heard. Let's talk about that for a minute. Right. And I think that's just an easy inroad now. If you brought a coworker, if you brought a neighbor, to get to that next step without that awkward time. It wouldn't be awkward because you've already kind of...
You connected around something.
Yeah.
I think that's a great way to say that too, because this does give you, if you're a coworker, let's say you're a neighbor, a lot of people want to get to the gospel with them, but it feels abrupt.
Yeah.
I'm standing outside, we're talking about the flowers or the weather or whatever, and how am I going to get to the gospel with this person? Well, now you just experienced a Christmas service that was all about Jesus. I mean, everything that took place there, the music, the message, everything. I mean, it was very straightforward. We had walked them through a sinner's prayer at the end of it. We had a number respond to that. They received everything they would need to know about the gospel. Now you have something to follow up with. Hey, and you might even start with, just a general hey, what'd you think about the service? Hey, or you might even start
put it on Pastor. What'd you think about what he talked about?
Yeah. Hey, thanks for coming with me. That was awesome. I really enjoyed it. Did you enjoy yourself? I mean, you could start out with a very, very general, but I think that I would get there. That's exactly what you got to get to at some point, right? Hey, my pastor talked about, what did you think about that? Have you ever considered that? Have you any thoughts about that, Jeremy? I think that's a great way to be able to set yourself up to have a conversation because you've experienced something together.
Yeah, I think that you bring up a great point, Christian, because it has a lot to do with what they're looking for. What is their their life stage? Are they currently attending a different church and they're looking for a church, or maybe they've never been to church? This was their very first experience with a real church. And so one thing that I usually try to do is I lead in with my own excitement. And typically, you're going to sow what you reap. If you lead in with a lot of excitement, like, wow, wasn't that singing amazing?
Yeah.
Like, wow, can you believe that message Pastor preached? I mean, what did you think about it?
Yeah.
And it just sets the tone for the conversation in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And so I'm not setting them up to try to, I think it was literally the best the best concert, if you call it that we have ever did. I mean, it was amazing. I listened to it 3 times, and every single time it was like listening to it for the first time. And the sermon was on point. It was short, which was awesome. I'm just kidding, Pastor.
I'm not kidding.
I try to keep it a little shorter.
But all seriousness, if you've never been to church and you're there, you've got a short sermon, you've got quality music, you've got great facilities, you've got friendly people.
Yeah.
If you're looking for church, you're I just found it.
You say that, it's interesting because I years ago when we started the church, and over the first 15 years especially, there would have been some obstacles people had to get over. Especially in the early days, the obstacle would have been the singing, the music. The choir is not going to be, and God has blessed us over the years with good music, but at the very beginning, it wouldn't have been like the quality, obviously, that we can do right now.
Right.
You're in a school setting, all of that. I mean, I think that we have a great opportunity. You don't feel like you're trying to talk people into our church like you used to have to feel that way for sure. So I think that's and here's another good thing. When they come back this coming Sunday, it's not like we did a bait and switch this weekend. It's not like, wow, that was great, that music, and then we march out the normals, this coming weekend that, oh, wow, that was not the same thing. It won't be as much music, obviously, Sunday, but the music will be the same quality, really, this coming weekend too. So I think that's a strong reason to bring people back too. They won't feel surprised, for sure.
Yeah, I think one thing that makes it easy in this area is that I've noticed, and you've probably noticed from growing up in the South, is you never really knew where people were at in the South, like why they were there, why they were coming. You kind of had to guess.
Great point.
And here it's a very intentional community. Yeah. And so I'd even encourage our people who maybe have come from a Southern culture like that. If they're at church, it's for a reason. Yeah. It's intentional. People live by their calendar. I mean, they're not just going to go do things no, it's very intentional. Yeah. And I think there's power in that. What is that reason? What are they looking for? Yeah. Kind of what we talked about.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Hey, one way that we can capitalize on a great weekend is everyone's social media people now. I said now, but
that's fair.
now.
Yeah.
Everyone's on social media to some degree. Yeah. Share the service. Share the pictures that you took. Share, I've seen some people do it already. Yeah. Hey, great service today. Yeah. That was, you are kind of piquing people's interest that, maybe that would be something we would want to attend next year, or oh wow, we're kind of looking for a church. Maybe we'd want to go and see that.
Yeah, I mean, we have all the resources at our hand in the world today. We have more opportunity than any culture in history to reach the world. I think it's just a matter. I mean, we post about stuff all day. Let's post about some stuff that's important. Yeah, share, post about your church. Let people know that this is important to you.
People don't really, we post things from the church, and I post things, and you'll post things, but if it's coming from the church, it doesn't feel the same, and if it's coming from a staff member, it doesn't feel the same. Right. When it's a neighbor posting pictures of the service or making comment, or maybe it was even just a family that got pictures with the goats and the shepherds,
Air Jesuses.
Yeah, I made a comment in the service that one of the shepherds had Air Jordans on, and so we called them Air Jesuses. they were the originals, back in that day. But I think that's a great way to do it too. Is to just keep putting that out in front of people that way as well. Yeah. So, any other thoughts? How else can we follow up with these guests?
Yeah, I think you can definitely say, like when people are visiting the church, all three services, when they would arrive, I was, find out that they're new, which is not hard to do. Yeah. And one of the things I'd say is like, oh man, you come on a great day, I've already sat through this once, and the singing is amazing. You're going to love the pastor's message, and just build that excitement. Yeah. And you can do the same way every week.
That's right.
I really, you got to come back this Sunday. I know you came last Sunday, but I really want you to come back this Sunday. Pastor's going through this series, or, whatever it might be.
You can always find something.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I really want you to come to New Year's Eve service. I know you might have plans, but we've got two offerings. Two offerings, two options.
But also two offerings this week.
You got to give in both. So,
I think once they come the first time and you build a connection, once they come the second time, I think it's super important to connect them with other people now. Really try to introduce them to other people, pull them into your crowd a little bit. Life groups are very important for that.
If you see somebody a second time, you know that person is much more likely to become part of the church. Yeah. First time someone it was whatever. I mean, someone invited me. I said, yes, I'm here. But when they come a second time, they came, they saw it, something resonated within them, and they wanted to come back. Matter of fact, I think a growing church will see 10 to 15% of their first time guests come back again a second time. And studies tell us that if you have a second-time guest, I think it goes up to like 50-some% of a chance that that person will become assimilated. If they come a third time, it's like 78% chance. If you see, and I would say that's true. I mean, I think you would notice that, right?
I think it's higher for us.
Sure.
I think second-time guests, third-time guests, our retention is much, much higher than the average. And, I just think that we've done so much and put so much effort as a group into that experience that our retention is much higher, that they're going to come back.
I do agree with you. So I think the key of this and the key of why we're talking about this is if we can get somebody back a second time, that second time is huge. I think that really makes a difference. And then that personal connection with people. And then I would like to tell our church family this as well. We're making a big deal of discipleship right now, that's becoming more and more of our culture. If you invited somebody and they came to the service, that is a great person for you to personally take oversight of, to take under your wing, just to begin to ask some of those questions. Find out where they are spiritually. Find out if they know the Lord. Find out if they would do a Bible study with you. Find out, just that would be, ideally, that would be the person that you would begin to replicate yourself in, because that's really what we want to see. We want to see organic, not just, hey, we're going to match you up with him and she's going to go out with her. We want our people reaching out beyond the walls of our church and finding people.
Yeah. I think a lot, I use this word a lot, but it's truly about connections, because you can attend a church that you can completely agree with the preaching, enjoy the preaching, feel like the singing is amazing, have all the facilities, but sit in a crowd of people and feel alone. You're not going to keep going.
Yeah.
You're missing the benefit of why we gather together.
Yeah.
And it's that connection.
Yeah.
And so we do work really hard on finding how can we connect this person with another person. Yeah. And whether it's the same life stage, the kids are the same age. You're both from Texas. You're an Alabama Crimson Tide fan.
Come on.
It just gives you something to be able to grab a hold of at the beginning, right? Hey, you're from Texas. I've got these, and you'll find somebody from Texas or Californians, wherever people are from, whatever. Hey, you work at this place, so do they. Right. Or if you can find those connections, it really does make a big difference.
We all want to do life together.
Yeah.
I mean, we all have some of the same struggles. We just want to know that we're not doing it alone.
Yeah. What did Mark Twain that said, friendship is born when somebody looks at the other person and says, oh, you too?
Yeah.
And there's something about that, there's people like me.
I'm not the only one.
I'm not the only one. There's people like me. And we say a lot here that people are not looking for a friendly church or looking for friends.
Right.
So we have to be sure that we're connecting people in that way. Anything else you guys want to say to anyone that maybe just another encouragement or something else they can do?
I mean, because there's going to be some that probably listen to this or have invited people that somebody did come to the service and then aren't interested in coming back or aren't, I would say don't give up on that person. Keep going with them. Keep being there for them. Because I'm just seeing this so much as being a youth pastor, but just a Christian in general, it's a long chess game. It's not like an immediate thing with people. I hate to call it a game, but that's kind of what it is. It's you're playing the long game with people, and God has a way of bringing things into people's lives that drive them, and they'll know where to go. So keep being there for them.
And that's a great point too, because a lot of people don't come to church until they need a church,
right?
So
they have nowhere else to go.
Life's going great, no problem. I'm enjoying everything.
So don't feel like you failed if you don't get them back a second time. Just keep being there.
That's right. And the reality is it's going to take time, right? So if you want to see somebody end up at church, you're going to have to invite more than once. I'd encourage people to follow up with texts and just remind them when you see them. But and I think we all have a discernment to know that, okay, every time I see this person, I don't need to be leading with a text or an invitation to the church. Invest in that person, invest in that person, do some kind things for that person. And then when something's coming up, then, try to be as wise as you know how to be with that. Yeah.
Everybody needs the Lord, but not everybody knows it. Everybody needs a church, but not everybody knows it. And when life falls apart, they're going to remember you cared enough about me to invite me, to show me friendship, and you're going to be the person that they call. So they may not come back this Sunday, but you just keep being consistent, letting them know you love them, letting them know hey, we've got this special service coming up. I think you'd really enjoy it.
Yeah. I love how you said that. Everyone needs a church, needs the Lord. They just don't know it. And a lot of times it's just a circumstance in life that indicate, hey, things are going well right now at work. My marriage is fine. And all of a sudden that invitation comes at the time when, you know what, we're searching.
Every person's going to hit a wall in life at some point.
Yeah.
Every single person.
Yeah, that's right.
I have found myself praying for teenagers this way when I was a youth pastor and people this way. Lord, I pray that things wouldn't be going great. Because I know that they need something more than, and they need to know it. That they need to come to that place where they see it. So, Hey, great. Thanks for sitting down. Christian, great job with the choir this week. I thought the music was
I put a lot of time in, so I'm very thankful for him. And Drew, he's behind the wall back there. He put in a ton of time. And there was just
video was great.
Wiley, Melissa. There was a lot of people that weren't even on stage that made
put a lot of behind the scenes.
And Dave Hannon, his voice.
Oh, it's perfect.
He just has that
he's a performer. He does a good job with those kind of things for sure. So great weekend all the way around. And thank you both for all the work that you put into it, whether it was seen or behind the scenes. And no, that's the best, right? I mean, when it just feels like, hey, this is what I want to do. And Castleview, thank you. A lot of you did things that nobody else would even know or recognize, and we thank you for doing that. Thank you for inviting guests. I didn't know that literally the day before, Saturday afternoon, I'm wondering, Lord, is anyone going to come tonight to a Saturday night service? How many will come Sunday? And you all did such a great job of inviting people. We had many guests there. Let's pray that we'll see them again this weekend. And I want to encourage you, if you had a guest with you, don't let it slip by. Reach out to them today. Have a conversation. Ask them how they enjoyed it. And look for those opportunities to be able to have conversations from this moment forward. Hey, thanks for joining us today. We'll see you again next week.